Lisa Best here with the Heart-Centered Habit, Perceiving Through the Heart of the Matter. And today is video 5. I would like to talk to you about what the Heart-Centered Habit, just kind of how it expands your perception of reality. So when we are like a head-centered me, like I've spoken before in other videos, we have these beliefs in wrong that we learn from the world, from this paradigm in our society that believes that there's good and there's bad, and there's right and there's wrong. There's these two opposing forces in reality. And that head-centered me feels finite, right? It's this sense of self that has basically, you were born like this with an infinite perception of reality where all was one, all was life. And then as you grew, you start to deny certain aspects of life as being goodness or being life. And so your sense of right actually gets smaller and smaller and smaller as your sense of wrong gets bigger, bigger, and bigger. And so depending on how limited our view is in our perception of reality, so if we're really rigid, like a Hitler, then our perception of wrong is vast and our perception of right is small. If you're somebody that's kind of in the middle, then your perception of right could be, like maybe you accept that, all races are the same, our goodness, our truth, all cultures are the same, but you believe that your religion is the only representation of God or representation of truth or goodness. And so maybe you're half right and you have half wrong. But your sense of self, regardless of where you are in your belief systems of right and wrong, you're somewhere on that spectrum. So like for me, I started out infinite, and then I became more and more and more and more finite because I was very empathic and intuitive, which I believe we all are. And I could tune into other people's belief systems. And I would feel into what was true for them, and then I would mirror back to them what was true. And the whole time I was trying to figure out what was the one true way, and I never found it, obviously. But I still always carried with me some belief in wrong. And in my life, when somebody told me something was wrong, I always would go to experience that wrong to see for myself, is it really wrong? And, I was kind of seen as the rebel in my family. But even I needed to experience it for myself because even though I did become head-centered, I still had this sense in my heart that I could never get rid of. This sense that there really and truly is no wrong in our true nature. And there is no bad, there is no force that opposes this power that we all are. And so what the Heart-Centered Habit does is, for me, I started out, limited, with this limited sense of self. And I was really, the more that I would study other religions that pointed to the truth of my being, and that truth began to awaken in my heart again, just as it was when I was a child, that innocence and that purity and that pure love and that perception of pure life began to really awaken as I was seeking and searching through all these different philosophies and religions, and I was seeing that everything was pointing to oneness. Everything was pointing to this one power. It began to awaken within me, and it got to a point where the light was shining so brightly inside of me that I began to really suffer. The part of me that was still lost in a belief system of wrong, I began to suffer immensely, and I felt extremely divided. I felt I just couldn't get away from it. And no matter how great and how good I did out in the world, all the accomplishments and achievements, nothing brought me satisfaction. Nothing brought me fulfillment because there was it felt like this war going on inside of me. between the head-centered me that was still left and the heart-centered me, the true authentic me that was awakening. And so what happened was I used the heart-centered habit. I started to be honest. I started to acknowledge that everything was life. I started to allow everything to have a voice and honor it and respect it and love it just as it was. I mean, if I was complaining, if I had a voice that was complaining about something, I let it have a voice, and then I asked my heart to help me love it and to help me perceive it as life. And then I would just breathe in the limitation and the lack and the wrong and everything that I felt was blocking me from being the real true me. I just began to breathe it in as life. You are life. And I was just, yes, you are life. And then love it and then thank it. What began to happen is as I began to perceive that wrong as life, I expanded. My perception of self got bigger again. And then it just continued. And then I would get triggered, and another belief in wrong would get triggered within me. And I would sense that limitation. And by being honest about how I truly felt on the inside, that I was feeling depressed or whatever it was that I was, whatever form of suffering that I felt, sometimes I couldn't even give it a name. It just felt lack, on the inside. And it became the heart-centered habit with that part of myself. And I perceived that wrong as life and right. I expanded. And this continued and continued and continued and continued until there was only infinite beingness. And so what I am offering you today is more, is a question, I guess. Do you want to play big in this world, or do you want to play small? Because if you want to play small, then the head-centered me is where you want to be, because you will play small, you will have limitations and boundaries, and you will not want to open your mind up. You will not want to accept diversity of beliefs. You will not want to accept any really diversity outside of your inner circle of friends that have like-mindedness. You'll continue to play small, and that's completely fine, because we have a free will and you have that choice. But just know that your soul is an infinite being, infinite in nature. And your soul came to play big. It came to play in an infinite way. And so when the desires of your heart are not being met or created, it's because we're stuck in that head-centered me, and we believe that's who we are. And so if you really want to play big, like for me, I want to play big, and I'm not ashamed to want to play big anymore, because I want to go visit, I want to travel like crazy. I want to visit everywhere on earth. I want to explore the earth and all the different locations, and I want to explore different cultures, and I want to explore different traditions, and I want to explore and play with everything that humanity has to offer. And I want to experience diversity. I want to experience diverse beliefs. I really feel that the head-centered me believed for so long that, there was only supposed to be one religion, right? We're all supposed to live according to this one belief system, and then we would have peace. But I've found that that is not true. That in true reality, if there's 7.6 billion people, which I don't know exactly how many people are on the earth, but if there's that many people on the earth, then there's 7.6 billion different religions. I have my own way of expressing the truth that I am. And I used to have such self-doubt when I was the head-centered me, because when intuitive information of the truth that I am started to come through for me, it was different and unique, and nobody else. I had not heard anybody else talking about the truth the way that it was coming through me. And so I doubted it. I couldn't trust it. I couldn't put my faith in it. But as I began to become more and more heart-centered by being and practicing the heart-centered habit, the head-centered me began to expand and wake up to a point where I began to see that each and every one of us has a unique expression of the truth to bring to the world that will add a depth and dimension and a diversity that we as infinite beings came to celebrate. We came here to do just that. We came to be unique, a unique expression of oneness, a unique expression of divinity, a unique expression of the one truth. And how will we know if it's the one truth? Because you can feel it. It will resonate. Pure life and pure love. You can sense when somebody is expressing from a belief system of right and wrong, because there's a lot of self-righteousness there. There's a need to try to change your point of view. There's a need to try to get you to be like me, and I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be uniquely you. I want you to express the truth that you are and to have the courage. And I hope that by me standing in the light that I am and expressing that light and that truth in a unique way will inspire you to do the same, because I am so excited to see the way in which you're going to express the truth. Because nobody else is going to express it the way that you do. You bring a piece of heaven here to earth that nobody else can. You bring a color that nobody else can bring. You bring a frequency that nobody else can bring. You bring something that is so beautiful that all the other souls are waiting to experience. And that's the true diversity that we all desire to experience. And so imagine if we could get to a place as a society, and just in the human race, when a baby is born, we get so excited because we're like, oh my gosh, let's say the baby's name, we name him Samuel or whatever. Here comes Samuel's religion. A religion that we've never seen before. Because that's what all expressions. No, we're not supposed to follow anybody else's expression of the truth. Because if you follow somebody else's expression of the truth, then you're actually hindering yourself from tapping into the truth that you are. That's the pleasure. That's the fulfillment. That's the enjoyment, is you journeying back into your heart and having the courage and the faith and the trust. That journey is the fulfillment that you desire. And once that you align your voice with that authentic, unique expression of truth that you are, abundance and light and love will flow through you like you could have never dreamed. I mean, it's a bliss that you could have never imagined. It's a euphoric feeling, like what we imagine heaven would be like. Well, heaven comes pouring out of you. And the beauty of it that you would bring forth is a beauty that the world has never seen, but we're waiting to see it. So that's, if you desire, one, to play big, right? To play at your soul's level of infinite possibilities. Two, if you desire to co-create the desires of your heart and beyond. And three, if you desire to be the authentic, real, genuine, unique you that you truly are, the truth that you are, then this book, the 22-day journey of the heart-centered habit, perceiving through the heart of the matter, might just help you. And that's the intention that it was written for. It was written, one, for my head's journey back to my heart. And anytime one person goes on that journey and awakens, it inspires everyone else that is on that journey to awaken too. So, I hope that today you sense the peace that you already are right now in this moment that is within your heart. And I hope that you have a fierce, playful, and genuine perspective of looking at whatever is in your life that feels wrong and looking at it as God, as life, as love, as goodness, as beauty, as a symbol of the abundance that you already are, as a symbol of the divinity that you already are. Because as you perceive that, you will experience that life that you are more. So thank you for watching, and please share with anybody that your heart guides you to share this with. I am so grateful for you, and I just want you to know that I really and truly do know you. In your heart, I know you, and I can't wait to experience the expression that is going to be created through you as you. Thank you.